Hey guys, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Gonna read through the full article here. There is a link in the description. I'm gonna give a very real trigger warning. This goes into quite a lot of detail, really, of the torture of a toddler who subsequently died in October 2019. His name is Kyrell, or was Kyrell Matthews, and he was beaten to death by his mother and the mother's boyfriend. So as I say, I'm going to provide a trigger warning very clearly. This is a heartbreaking story, case, situation, and this article does go into quite a bit of detail. So you may not want to listen to it all, or if you do, if you take a mental break afterwards, go and watch some nice videos, perhaps check out some of the friends of this channel. There's a link to, at the end of the day, there's a link to kind of whatever, just some nice, more relaxing communities. In any case, let's read through. A toddler who was allegedly beaten to death by his mother and her partner was told to shut up, and he was warned he was ruining the fun. Prosecutors say Kyrell Matthews was repeatedly struck by his mother and her then partner over several weeks, with harrowing secret audio recordings capturing the violence said to have been meted out by the pair at their flat in South London, England. Kyrell, who was non-verbal, died at the flat on October the 20th, 2019, with a litany of internal injuries, including 41 rib fractures and a 1.6 wide cut to his liver. To me, I'm just going to interject on the article very briefly. That is insane. How can you have a toddler with 41 rib fractures? Imagine the ongoing torture this boy would have suffered. His mother, Felicia Shirley, and Kima Brown, who is not the boy's father, they both deny murdering Kyrell at Shirley's home in Thornton Heath, again, South London. Prosecutor Edward Brown told jurors at the Old Bailey that Kyrell had his ribs crushed or broken by blows within the 4 weeks before October the 20th. Here's a quote. At least one of the defendants plainly inflicted a significant number of injuries in at least 5 separate incidents in the 4 weeks leading up to Kyrell's death. The pain and distress in those 4 weeks when he was abused was brought vividly to the fore by those harrowing recordings. So there are audio recordings. They were apparently secretly recorded. We're not going to listen to them. I don't know if they have been made available, but I wouldn't be listening to them. On October the 20th, his ribs were crushed once more. It killed him. Police later discovered secret audio files on Shirley's mobile phone, the apparent result of attempts to catch Brown being unfaithful, which inadvertently captured the abuse. So the mother was recording goings on in the household because she suspected that the boyfriend was cheating on her. So she was recording to try to catch the boyfriend out, and in so doing, she captured the recordings. She captured recordings of, I believe, herself as well as her partner abusing Kyrell multiple times. So back to the article. They included multiple audio files where it appeared Kyrell was hit repeatedly, with Brown, the boyfriend, saying "shut up," causing the toddler to cry and scream. And here is Kyrell, of course, in his Arsenal football soccer uniform outfit. On another occasion, prosecutors said Brown, the boyfriend, inflicted several blows on the little boy before telling him, "You have to ruin the fun." And I'm going to interject again. you know, this is mental cruelty, isn't it? I mean, it's gaslighting. It's absolute gaslighting. Beating a boy, beating a child, beating a toddler, and then blaming the toddler. You know, pardon my French, I mean, that would fuck with your head. I mean, even if Kyrell was to have survived the extensive physical abuse, you know, that mental torture, emotional torture would have had lasting effects. Back to the article, another audio file, the prosecution said, captured the mother striking her own child and causing him to cry in distress. The mother is said to have carried out the covert phone recordings at her one-bedroom flat to check whether her partner, Kema Brown, was secretly contacting other women. However, police investigating the death of her son, Kyrell Matthews, discovered that the recordings contained disturbing evidence of the non-verbal boy being hit repeatedly, with Brown saying, "Shut up." Prosecutor Mr. Brown told jurors it makes for harrowing listening because you'll hear Kema Brown, the boyfriend, hitting that child again and again on different days, and you will hear Kyrell crying and screaming as a result. On one recording, the prosecution said Kyrell, the boyfriend, could be heard getting increasingly distressed. Kyrell, the toddler, could be heard getting increasingly distressed amid slapping sounds and hitting noises as the boyfriend told him to shut up. Jurors were told that the boyfriend admits that it's his voice on the recordings. The prosecution said that the mother could then be heard asking, "What did he do?" To which the boyfriend said, "He got up." I mean, sickening. There's just mindless violence towards a toddler, just beating him. Why? Well, because he was awake. That's reason enough, is it? The prosecutor said, plainly, the mother has seen distress at the very least, expecting punishment of Kyrell having taken place by Kema Brown. It is plain, say the prosecution, what you can hear. In the fourth recording, taken in August 2019, so Kyrell died in October 2019. In the fourth recording, Brown, the boyfriend, can be heard saying to Kyrell, "Stop crying," and imitating the baby's cries, followed by two slapping sounds minutes apart. Minutes later, Brown, the boyfriend, can be heard saying, "What are you crying for?" followed by two hits or two slaps, at which point the boy, the toddler, Kyrell, yelps and faintly cries. The boyfriend showed no emotion as the recordings were played in court. The prosecution described the case as a determined pattern of repeated and significant assaults on a completely defenseless and young child. Jurors were told that on one occasion in the days before he died, Kyrell was apparently reluctant to go back into his mother's flat, having spent the day elsewhere. Jurors heard that the toddler did not attend a nursery and was in full-time care of his mother, who was then aged 21. Neither defendant, the mother nor the boyfriend, were employed leading up to the time of Kyrell's death. They were both said to have left the flat at separate times, the apartment at separate times, the day the boy died, although only Shirley's, the mother's, accounts could be corroborated by CCTV. The mother said she raised the alarm by calling the NHS's non-emergency 111 number after she got home, saying her son had become floppy. His eyes were rolling back and he was having problems with his breathing. The ambulance arrived just 12 minutes later and Kyrell was rushed to hospital. Both Shirley, the mother, and Brown, the boyfriend, denied harming him. It was only following his death that forensic examination offered clues about how he died. The prosecutor said, and here's a quote, This all happened because closed doors. This all happened behind closed doors, so to speak. After the initial investigation, the long task to examine a huge amount of telephone data was begun and trawled through over many months. And what was found was a section of the mother's phone that contained a number of recordings. They are revealing, indeed, they are very harrowing. It appears that the mother had taken to setting her phone up to record what might or might not be going on in the flat when she was out, or when she was at least not within earshot. It appears that she was checking up on the boyfriend to see if he was contacting other women. The judge described the audio footage as difficult listening. And that's pretty much all I'm going to read through of the article there. It tells us that during the court proceedings and the trial is continuing, that the alleged murderer, one of the alleged murderers, the boyfriend, isn't showing any emotion. The mother was distraught or distressed after being informed that Kyrell had died. So she showed a level of emotion, but not the boyfriend. So the trial is continuing. If there's further updates, I will try to give an update in regards to that. What a tragic loss of life. What sick, twisted torture of a baby. Torture of a baby. It's just completely nonsensical. How can anyone make sense of this? I mean, one way to make sense of it is to believe, to feel that the alleged are evil. I mean, this guy here seemingly, and this is speculation, of course, doesn't give a shit, isn't interested. He was beating the boy multiple times. He suffered 41 fractured ribs in the 4 weeks leading to his death. 41 rib fractures. At least 5 separate incidences in the 4 weeks leading up to Kyrell's death. I mean, either at the hands of the boyfriend, Kima Brown, or at the hands of Felicia Shirley, or at the hands of both of them. And they, with the audio recordings, I believe, we've not heard the audio recordings. Certainly Kima Brown has been shown to hit the boy multiple times. And, I believe the same could be said about the mother, although I may have that wrong. So I'll wrap things up there. If you do like this content, do like, comment, subscribe. And again, take a mental health break, to try to consume some content which is a little bit more uplifting.